Right, in this video I'm going to go through how to put in an incident report for a client. So let's say there's an altercation, there's a medical issue, something like that. You want to record it in ClientTrack because, as others have noted, if it's not recorded anywhere, it didn't happen essentially. You want to be able to record a pattern of behavior. If there's a pattern of negative behavior that needs to be noted, you want to make sure that's written down somewhere, and incident reports are the place to do it because they track with a client. So you can see there's already some incident reports. I'm in the training database, so you will see that if you were to read these incident reports, it's kind of not, they're not representing real incidents. Let's put it that way. So there's two places to put in an incident report. One is on the client's workspace, and you want to make sure you have the right person pulled up before you do it. And you'd go to incident, and you'd be able to see their history of incidents and put in a new one here. And if you did it that way, you would have to make sure to select the housing facility that this incident happened in. Alternatively, you can go over to the shelter workspace and go to incidents and add a new one here, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to run down the fields real quick. Won't make this too long. You will put the date and time reported, which it's already set, so you probably won't have to change anything. Staff on duty, so who were the witnesses to this incident, just in case they need to be asked about what happened. So in this case, I'm going to put Charles. The next is who was the main person, the primary person involved. And if you want to be able to quickly search for them, if you put the last name first, then the first name, hit tab, then they'll search right up. Or you could just hit the magnifying glass and kind of use this the search fields here to search for them. And the way that you know that you've correctly searched somebody up is their last four will be populated here. If you don't see a last four here, well, it could mean one of two things. First of all, it could mean that we don't have a social for them, but more likely it means that you maybe didn't do the search correctly. And you'll know that you didn't do the search correctly at the end of trying to fill out the form, because you'll hit save and it'll say like client ID is a required field, because client ID is being populated by this search here. Right, next is if there are other participants, other people involved. So this is others besides James Bond or whoever the primary client is. So in this case, I'm going to put another person who I know is in our training database, John Doerr. Let's say that in this case he was the victim, and I could make a comment about it. And, John was hit by James, something to that effect. Now here I want to put the incident date and time. This is going to be different from the date and time reported up there. So this is when did the incident actually happen. So let's say it happened this morning at 7 a.m. Now note I can change AM and PM by just clicking that, and it'll change whether it was in the morning or evening. Then I'm going to select incident type. So what was the incident type or types? So in this case, I'll select physical verbal aggression. Let's say we also called the police. Location, the facility. I'm going to put day room, description of incident. And you want to, in the description, you want to be as exact as you can and as exhaustive as you can. Give as much detail about what happened as possible. So since this is a fake incident, I'm not going to be able to give that much detail because it's just coming out of my mind. But you would say something like, John was sitting in the day room minding his own business. Let's see if I can spell. When James came up and hit him in the face, we restrained James and called the police. He continued to be irate and had to be restrained by the police. Something like that. So a little bit of detail, not just like something happened. It's like, okay, well, give some more detail about that. Immediate action taken. Police were called. Physical injury, yes. John had a bruise on his face. Property damage, no. But if there was property damage, you'd report it here. Ambulance number, not applicable. Fire engine number, non-applicable. Police car number, let's say, I don't know what the numbers are for the police cars. I'm just going to say 4. And you'd want to figure out or actually find the number on the side of the police car and record it. And that's really the end. I don't know how much we use this follow-up required, so I can't speak to it. I'm really only know the database side of it, but this is kind of all that you need for a good incident report here. You hit save, and now you've got the incident report in the system. And the nice thing about it is, it's going to take you to add other participants afterwards, because that's where it goes by default. But you can just go back to incidents now, and you'll see this new incident and who's involved. And now if I go back over to James Bond's page and hit client dashboard, I'll also see his new incident here.